How's it going, everybody? I'm the big guy. I'm the best there is, best there was, the best there ever will be. There have been none before me, and there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jake Colby. And welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. Got a fun week of WWE this week. We got news of the week, followed by your Raw and SmackDown review. And then we have a review of WWE No Mercy in the UK. We're getting ready for Clash at the Castle. I am so excited for this. It's going to be a fun pay-per-view, especially with what happened on SmackDown and Raw this week. And then we have, of course, your drink of the week, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules. And then, of course, we have the Battle Droid of the Week. But let's get into the news this week, as Big E has confirmed he will miss WrestleMania 39. He said he has a Jefferson fracture, which means he broke his C1 in two places in his spine. He also broke his C6 in March. He talked to Dr. Maroon, who is in Pittsburgh and is one of the big doctors in WWE. He was one of the doctors who refused to clear Daniel Bryan for the longest time until Daniel Bryan finally came with other doctors' recommendations. So I can't blame him for not wanting to clear Big E. I mean, this is a tough decision. But they'll need to look back about the 6 to 9 month mark from here. And then we will get an answer on when Big E will be back in WWE. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like for a while, which sucks. I love Big E. I think he is one of probably the best wrestlers in WWE right now. But I just hope he gets back as soon as he can. Get well, brother. And then we have a little return news. Is Madcap Moss's girlfriend returning to WWE? For those of you who don't know, Madcap Moss recently started dating Emma, who was famous in WWE NXT. She had a great run in on the main roster with Santino. And then she rediscovered her character as a despicable heel. She is working very well on the independent scene in Impact, but her deal with Impact is up. So there is talk that she would like to return to WWE, and Triple H would like to have her back in WWE. I don't know if it's true. These are just rumors and speculations. I would like to see Emma back in WWE. First main roster opponent of Asuka. So it could be a fun return for Emma. And finally, in your last story this week, Road Dogg is back in WWE and Jeff Jarrett is out of WWE. Jeff Jarrett was actually head of live performance, live shows, live talent. Basically, when they would do a house show, he would be in charge of it. But now he has left WWE and Road Dogg has come back into WWE. You know, I can't blame him on this. Road Dogg is one of the Triple H guys, so it doesn't shock me that he is back in WWE. And now let's go into your SmackDown review. As SmackDown kicked off with Ronda Rousey saying she's not leaving the ring till she is reinstated since she has paid her fine. But Adam Pearce would come out and would tell her she has to leave the ring since she is suspended from WWE. Security tried to come in and Ronda took all 4 security guards out. And then 2 cops came in and arrested her. There was talk of like, who are these cops? What independent wrestlers are these? Because, you know, WWE always uses independent wrestlers for those. She was then arrested and taken to jail. She was then released on her own recognizance. We then get the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. First round match of Gigi Dolan and Jacy Jayne versus Natalya and Sonya Deville. Gigi Dolan and Jacy Jayne would win and would be victorious in their SmackDown debut. Unfortunately, Gigi Dolan would be injured in this match. It's funny because they replaced Zoe Starks and Nikki Lyons because Zoe Starks was injured on NXT. Now you have Gigi Dolan, her replacement, getting injured here. So there will actually be a second chance fatal 4-way match on next week's SmackDown. They would announce this on Raw. And then we get a Maximum Male Models promo they were coming out to really kind of just show them off, show off the male models, but out of nowhere, Hit Row came out, sang a really cool song. Top Dollar took out Max Dupree. I'm sorry, for some reason that name is escaping my mind. Took out Max Dupree, while he had Adonis take out the models of Mansois and Marseille. They really kind of ignored Maxine. I thought that B-Fab would take her out, but she did not. She kind of just exited the ring, and then they started rapping, performing a song. Maximum Male Models. We would get a look into them later on in the show, or was it I believe it might have actually been yes, it was just a look into on their, it was just a look in online. It was a WWE Network or online exclusive. Maximum Male Models would then be approached later on by Los Lotharios to hit again on Maxine. We then get Sheamus versus Ricochet versus Happy Corbin versus Sami Zayn versus Madcap Moss in a number one contenders match. Very good match here. Sheamus was able to pick up the win, but everyone felt like they had a chance to win this. Sami Zayn would actually have a kayfabe injury and would come back out to try to win it for the Bloodline. He would not. You would have Sheamus pick up the win to go and challenge Gunther at Clash at the Castle for the Intercontinental Championship. For those of you who don't know, Sheamus actually needs the Intercontinental Championship to become a Grand Slam champion in WWE. It's the last title he needs. So it'll be cool to see him win this and move on to actually be a Grand Slam champion. We then get the Viking Raiders holding their Viking funeral for the New Day. By the way, this segment also showed the return of Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan did return, kind of. She was the one painting their faces. So people have pointed out, Sarah Logan has confirmed that yes, that was her. I don't know if this means she's returning to the company or they just used her because she is Eric's wife and she was there just to help out. I don't know what's going on there, but this would be a cool return because it would also show that Control Your Own Narrative is working with WWE. I would like to see it. I would love to see Sarah Logan return and Control Your Own Narrative work with WWE. Maybe they become the new developmental, like Evolve was, or Progressive. I don't know. We then get Liv Morgan versus Shotzi in a very good match. They would actually build this match up on Twitter through a couple heated exchanges on Twitter of Liv Morgan saying you're never going to get a WrestleMania moment, and Shotzi taking shots at Ruby Riott on Twitter as well. So it was made official. Liv Morgan was able to beat Shotzi, but after the match, Shayna Baszler attacked Liv Morgan, showing that killer instinct she had. She actually wore the old Triple H, I'm trying to remember what it's called, the Triple H jean jacket, which I like to see. That was a cool shout to Triple H. We then get Drew McIntyre backstage as he's getting ready. He finds Scarlett's hourglass backstage for a split second as he pulled it off, and I just saw the light shining through the hourglass. I thought it was Bray Wyatt's lantern, and I'm like, holy shit, he is coming back. We did get hints to that on Raw this week, though, as I'll go into that a little bit later. We then get Roman Reigns coming out, saying that anyone who says he is the face of Raw is SmackDown is lying. It is him. Anyone who says that they carry this company on their shoulders and isn't him is a liar. Then Drew McIntyre came out. He said the Scottish Warrior is going to tear him apart and take those titles. The two then get into a brawl. Reigns tries to go for a Superman punch, but you had McIntyre push it away. You then have McIntyre go for a Claymore, but Sami Zayn pushed Roman out of the way again for the save, but it didn't matter as Drew would then hit another Claymore on Roman, and that was actually the way SmackDown went off the air. You got a couple little things from Karrion Kross and Scarlett as well, a couple promos, but which is very cool to see. I love that they're really pushing Karrion Kross as he should be. He's definitely going to be the number one contender after whoever wins at Clash at the Castle. And the talk is there will be their world title debuted on Raw in a couple of weeks, which I think should go to Seth Rollins, but that's just my opinion. Let's move on to Raw. As Raw kicked off, it was before the pyro even went off for the show. They had the theme song, and then it was Seth Rollins and Riddle in the back brawling. People trying to tear him apart, but it didn't work as they would brawl into the audience. You would then have Riddle then jump off and hit Seth Rollins with a flying dive and destroy everyone in the brawl. Finally, they were separated, pulled apart. These guys are really making this feud very, very fun. We then finally get the pyro, and WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus comes out to address the crowd, saying she has an announcement, but it was interrupted by Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. We never got to see what Trish wanted to say, but I imagine she's about to announce her return to the ring as they want to do an Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus match as the talk online. Maybe a Bayley versus Trish Stratus match I would like to see. But we never got to see it as Bianca Belair came out, and then Asuka and Alexa Bliss came out to push the numbers in their advantage. We then get the second round match between Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Alexa Bliss and Asuka in the Women's Tag Team Championship tournament. Dakota Kai and Io Sky picked up the win here, which I thought was the right call. One very good match. Really enjoyed it. But I wish that Asuka and Alexa Bliss could have another shot. Apparently they will in the Women's Second Chance tournament. I really want it to be Raquel Gonzalez and Aaliyah versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky because they all have history together, and I think they could really tear the house down in that match. We then get Finn Balor versus Dolph Ziggler in what could have been the match of the night. Very good match. Really enjoyed it. Finn Balor and Dolph Ziggler really tore the house down, hitting everything they can. Famousers, zigzags, super kicks. Great match here. Really was. Enjoyed this match. Finn Balor picks up the win after Rhea Ripley gets involved. Great job to Finn Balor and Dolph Ziggler. We then get Chad Gable making fun of Montreal, or making fun of Toronto, basically saying they're all just ex-hockey players with no teeth, and that he wanted to recruit someone for the Alpha Academy, but no one came in, so he's issuing an open challenge to whoever wants to come out and fight him from Toronto. You then get Kevin Owens come out. Kevin Owens destroyed him, destroyed Otis, picks up the win. He might have just been a tweener just for this show, but I could see them actually doing a tweener little thing. He says he's back to the prize fighter. I don't know if that means he's back to being a face or a heel. I would like to see him keep the heel persona because I think Kevin Owens is a way better heel than a face. After this, we got Aaliyah, who was doing a backstage segment, challenge Bayley to a match. Bayley and Aaliyah, actually Aaliyah from Toronto, so she was able to perform in front of her own crowd, but Bayley was able to pick up the win, and she was celebrating with Io Sky and Dakota Kai on the ramp. We then get Miz and Ciampa versus AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley, another great match. Unfortunately, though, it ended in DQ as someone tried to attack AJ Styles. It was revealed it wasn't Dexter Lumis, it was just a random guy. People were talking of who is that guy. I don't know. But what happened next, they finally addressed it as Dexter Lumis then grabbed Miz and kidnapped him. They actually addressed Dexter Lumis on commentary saying that's Dexter Lumis. He doesn't even work here anymore. What's he doing here? He then pulled Miz out through the audience and into a ramp. I'm trying to remember where it was. It was like the stairway. He pulls him down, and we still haven't seen Miz since in the rest of the show. Then a huge surprise. This was definitely the moment of the night. I sent this to my buddy. We both lost our minds. I did not see this coming as former NXT champion, former tag team champion NXT, and former North American champion 3 times, Johnny Gargano, returns to WWE. That's right, Johnny Gargano is back in WWE. Rebel Heart plays, the crowd goes fucking nuts. What a return for Mr. Gargano. He then says, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Johnny Gargano. He was a big thing in WWE. Oh my god, this was just perfect. You then get Austin Theory come out saying they were amazing in NXT and they could be that on the main roster. But this time, Gargano could be the rookie and Theory can be the leader. You then get Gargano just super kicking Theory as they tried to do the way hand sign, but it was just awesome to see. Welcome back, Johnny, man. I did not see this coming. This stole the moment of the night for me, even though it was Edge's return to his hometown. What a moment to see Johnny back in WWE. We then get Edge versus Damian Priest in your main event. What a great match. Edge was able to pick up the win over Damian Priest. By the way, huge pop for Edge in his hometown for the first time in 10 years. Great job by Edge. Edge picks up the win. After the match, Edge grabs 2 steel chairs about to smash Priest's head. But Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley came in to make the save on Damian Priest. And as they're about to attack Edge, Beth Phoenix gets involved and basically grabs a chair. Maybe we'll get Edge, Beth Phoenix, and Rey Mysterio now versus Judgment Day at Clash at the Castle. I would like to see that. Very good Raw, very good SmackDown. Great job this week. Triple H is really just cranking out everything he can, man. This was just awesome. Very fun. If you're looking for a great Raw to watch this Raw. And now, let's go to No Mercy 1999. This was the pay-per-view in the UK. Very fun. It was, I believe, the last pay-per-view they ever did in the UK until Clash at the Castle. They would go there every year for Raw and SmackDown, but they would not do a pay-per-view until Clash at the Castle. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it, but I believe this was it. This was basically the corporate ministry versus the rest of the roster. Everyone who was against the corporate ministry, which was the Ministry of Darkness, who had recently aligned themselves with the corporation, which was run by Shane McMahon, and you had the Ministry of Darkness run by Undertaker, which I always think is a very underrated faction. Just my opinion. It would basically be them versus the whole roster, except for the first match, as it would be Tiger Ali Singh versus Goldberg in a quick 1-minute match. Tiger Ali Singh would pick up the win. Nothing really to talk about. He got a good pop because he was Indian in the UK. That's why he got the very big pop. At least that's what they say. We then get the Ministry of Darkness, Bradshaw, Farouk, and Viscera versus the Brood, who have since been ejected from the group after not attacking Christian, in a 6-man tag team match. This is a very good match. Bradshaw and Farouk, really in the early days of getting together as a tag team. They would win the tag team titles. Very cool to see this match of all these Hall of Famers really going at it. 4 Hall of Famers in this match. Gangrel and Viscera, the 2 who are not, but still very good workers on Gangrel. Viscera had definitely improved since his King Mabel run at this point. Very good match, very fun match. If you're looking for a good 6-man tag, Ministry of Darkness picks up the win after Bradshaw pins Christian. D-Generation X, the corporate ministry, would kind of get involved. And it would be fun. It would be cool to see. After this, you get Steve Blackman versus Droz, who was a member of the corporate ministry. For those of you who don't know who Droz was, he was actually one of the main focuses in Beyond the Mat, which was a very good documentary for wrestling fans. He would be pitched as Puke, and then he would change it to Droz. He would have a okay run in the company, nothing too big, but he would be a member of the Ministry of Darkness. Steve Blackman would be able to beat him in this match. Nothing really to write home about. Steve Blackman, very good win for him, but still okay match. After this, you get Kane versus Mideon, which would end in a DQ. After just 4 minutes. Nothing to write home about. Mideon, another member of the Ministry of Darkness. Just nothing really to remember about this match. You would have Mick Foley come out, cut a nice little promo for the crowd. Just cool to see Foley on the WWE at this time, because he was kind of Mankind, he was kind of Cactus Jack, he was kind of everything about Mick Foley that he could be. Very cool to see Mick Foley in WWE at this moment. After this, you get Nicole Bass versus Tori. Nice little match, 27 seconds. Again, nothing to write home about. We then get Shane McMahon versus X-Pac for the WWF European Championship. Of course, this title needed to be defended in the UK. It was awesome to see. Shane McMahon would pick up the win. This is actually a very cool clash of styles here for me, I would think. It was definitely different to see X-Pac and Shane McMahon go at. I really enjoyed that. And then you would get Billy Gunn versus Mankind in your semi-main event. Billy Gunn and Mankind would be feuding because of the Ministry, and it was definitely a different match. These two, for me, I don't know why, it just didn't clash well for me. People might say it's a good match, and I don't know. Just these two names just don't work. Don't get me wrong, Billy Gunn and Mick Foley, amazing workers. I don't know. It's just, this match just didn't sit well with me. It just didn't feel right. Billy Gunn would pick up the win over Mankind, but I don't know. I don't know why. Anyway, let's go on to your main event. And Stone Cold Steve Austin would defend the WWE Championship, WWF at the time, in an anything goes triple threat match against Triple H and The Undertaker. You would have Chyna and Paul Bearer at ringside as well. This would be it's a very good clash of styles. I will say that very well. And by the way, also, this pay-per-view would be dedicated to the loss of the British Bulldog, who passed away very, very early on in his life. Well, it would... did he pass away at this time, or is that just... I'm trying to remember if this was before or after he passed away. Let me look this up. British Bulldog. Davey Boy Smith. This would be before he passed away, so he was actually injured at the time. That's what it was. I saw the dedication. For those of you who don't know, I watched the pay-per-view as I'm reviewing it, and I saw the dedication, and I forgot that it was just an injury. He would not pass away for another 3 years, but it's just sad to see that and be like, this took place in the UK and he'd be gone in 3 years. Anyway, back to the Anything Goes triple threat match. Very cool match to see this. Very cool way for this match to go. Stone Cold would retain the title after The Undertaker and Triple H could not work together. This would lead to the splitting of the ministry, of the corporate ministry, and would basically lead to the dissolution of that. Undertaker would then basically go away. You would have Stone Cold get hurt, lose the title to Triple H. Triple H would then hold the title going into WrestleMania 16, and this would lead to basically WrestleMania 2000 of Triple H winning the WWE title and holding on to it way past what he should have, and having a great feud with Mick Foley, though. And then it would actually lead to Return of the Undertaker under a different... He would shed the darkness and become the American Badass. So this match actually had a lot of repercussions, and that's why people look favorably on No Mercy. It was definitely different, but it's fun to look back at and be like, okay, so this is what WWE pay-per-view, and the crowd was rocking. I'll give credit credit's due. The crowd was completely rocking for this pay-per-view, as they should have been. I mean, the UK is always great fans, so very cool to see WWE in the UK, and I'm glad they're going back there for Clash at the Castle. If you're looking for a fun little pay-per-view to get yourself in the mood for Clash at the Castle coming, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, watch this pay-per-view and probably watch SummerSlam 1992 as well. Let's go to your WWE Drink of the Week. The Bellini Cocktail. Very fun champagne drink here. So it's champagne, 2 ounces of champagne, 3 to 4 ounces of peach puree, and a garnish of a peach slice. You pour the peach puree into the base of the champagne flute. You top it with champagne and just garnish with a peach slice. Drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Do not drink if you are under 21 in the United States. And do not overconsume on alcohol. Very fun drink. Very tasty drink. I've made it many, many times for like a nice brunch or something. If you're looking for a fun drink, go ahead. Have this drink. And now a reading from the Book of Rules. Championship matches. During a championship match, the title can only change hands via pinfall or submission. The champion will technically lose this match if they are counted out or disqualified, but they will retain the title. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your Battle Droid of the Week. This Battle Droid of the Week is very easy for me. The second I heard the story came out, I'm sure everyone's going to agree with me on this, is AEW champion CM Punk. Now listen, CM Punk, one of the best to ever work at, probably top 5, if not top 10 performers ever. I got no problem saying he's an amazing wrestler. But the guy has an ego the size of Montana, alright? He does not work well with others. That's why he left WWE. That's why he's having trouble in AEW right now. He has really pissed off a lot of people backstage, and apparently they have pissed him off as well, as there was talk that he might leave AEW and not show up for this week's Dynamite. He did show up, and him and Jon Moxley had a very good interaction, but he would call out Adam Page, who is very well loved backstage. Dude, you gotta realize the whole world doesn't revolve around you. And it makes me wonder, did CM Punk ever want to be in WWE? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think he preferred to be an independent talent. He saw WWE not just for good money, but as a great way to get his name out there. And then he finally realized, this is a place I don't want to be, and left. I think it kind of hurt his ability of wrestling. I think he really felt like his love for wrestling was dead when he saw what the main thing is in wrestling. But at the same time, I don't think he ever really wanted to be there. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I got no problem admitting when I'm wrong. But for CM Punk, it's just, he does not want to, I don't think he wants to be on the main stage. I think he well prefers to be somewhere else. Just in ROH or on the independent scene. And if that's what you want to do, dude, go for it. Just don't be an asshole about it. Because guess what? Everyone's turning on you. WWE has turned on you. AEW's starting to turn on you. Soon ROH will. Impact probably won't want you for all the shit you've caused in WWE and AEW. A lot of places are going to I think people are going to finally go, you know, he's a great wrestler, but he's just a fucking asshole. So for that reason, CM Punk, you are the Battle Droid of the Week. I hope I don't have to give this to you again. I really don't. But dude, if you're gonna keep being an asshole, people are going to lose sympathy for you, all right? It's not going to be, oh my God, CM Punk left AEW. Fuck AEW for how they treated him. No, it's going to be, oh, I guess they were right in WWE to get rid of him. Now, don't get me wrong, cutting him on his wedding day, pussy move, bitch move by WWE. But if he wanted to be released and he wanted to leave, they did what he asked. And AEW, if he wants to be released, at this point, good luck on your future endeavors, dude. And here is your new trophy.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Short podcast this week as I'm really just kind of getting ready for next week with Clash at the Castle. But I still enjoy this week's podcast. Very fun to look at the returns that happened this week with Johnny Gargano coming back to WWE was just unfucking believable. That is the moment of the week, dude. If anyone's looking for the moment of the week, Johnny Gargano coming back to WWE. Welcome back, man. So, thank you very much for listening. I have been the Big Guy, and I'll see you next week for my predictions at Clash at the Castle, and maybe a special guest to have on.